So guys, welcome back to the channel. Montel Gordon here. In today's video, I want to break down the top 3 skills I believe you guys need to master in order to see any form of success from any type of business. So let's jump into it. Guys, before I jump into the video, just forgive me because I have a super cold right now. I'm feeling super ill. I have the flu, whatever you want to call it. I'm feeling very nasally. Probably my voice is coming out super whiny, but hopefully it's not too bad. So guys, I want you to realize that at the start of this year, I was like really completely dead broke, to the point where I almost got kicked out of my own house for not being able to pay like board or rent to my own family. They just thought I was wasting my life away, sat here at this computer doing nothing constructive, building nothing. But I was actually really learning some key skills, and I want to share those skills with you because now they've actually helped me change my entire life. I've been able to pay off all my immediate debts. I've been able to completely change my whole life around. I've been able to book like literally this, just like it was like less than a week ago, I booked my actual flights to New York City. So I'm going to New York City on the 20th of January. But guys, literally at the start of the year, I couldn't even afford to pay my phone bill or anything like that. It was actually embarrassing. It was pathetic. But I know that a lot of you guys are actually in a similar situation. I want to speak to you guys. But guys, yes, I'm not going to go into the whole story. I have the whole story in my free training and stuff like that, exactly how I was able to pay off all my debts, how I was able to grow my agency through consulting and through offering SMMA services and stuff like that. But guys, there's things I've been able to do this year that I didn't even think was possible at the start of the year. Like, for example, there's been days where I've made like over $1,000 while I've been asleep. Like, I didn't even know how to make like £10 online at the start of this year. Now there's times where I'm making $1,000 in my sleep. What are you talking about? Like, things I thought were completely impossible. Like just last week, in fact, I believe it was 8 days ago. So 8 days ago, I actually received 1.3K from a couple of consulting clients. So just like that, in a week I'm making 1.3K, and this week I'm actually scheduled, I should be making another 1.1K from consulting. But guys, literally like 1K a week, like who doesn't want that? And that's all profit, by the way, because I have 90% profit margins, because I offer a service which technically is just air. It's air. There's no production cost, there's no delivery cost or anything like that. So there would be one little tip for you right there if you're definitely broke. Definitely start a service-based business if you're broke. But guys, let's jump into the 3 skills I believe you need to truly master in order to get any success from any sort of business. Now, the first one is obviously sales. The second one is marketing. And the third one is being able to spot problems and come up with solutions, guys. Now, I want to speak on that last one really quickly, because you see, at the start of my journey, I just thought I was going to start a clothing line. I'm pretty sure if you go back on my channel, there's me mentioning that I was starting a clothing line. It didn't take off, basically. The reason why it didn't take off is because we didn't really have the capital. But when I think about it, now that I'm becoming more of a mature entrepreneur, I believe that business venture would have failed anyway. And the reason why I say that is because I don't want to be harsh on myself, but because I started something, and this is one of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs do. I started what I was passionate about. That shit is a myth. It doesn't work. What you want to do is start. You want to start a business that's going to get you paid, and then once you can take that to 10K per month, 100K per month, or make $1 million from it. I believe it's Russell Brunson that says, don't start a business and only diversify once you've actually made $1 million from this business. So that's when you can go and start a passion-based business. So start something first that's going to get you paid. Now let's actually talk about some of those. Dan Locke calls them high income skills. I call them high income skills too, because that's exactly what they are. For example, web design, Facebook ads, Instagram marketing for businesses, consulting, helping people build funnels. There's all sorts of stuff out there. But guys, you kind of want to be careful, because what you want to do is, again, you want to listen to the market. And one of the biggest realizations you guys need to come across, and this is going to sound very harsh, but the market does not give a flying Wu-Tang fuck about you guys. Now, that sounds super harsh, but I'm trying to give you some hard love here, guys, and really try to get you out of that position that you are in. The market does not care about you whatsoever. They don't care what you look like. They don't care about how you sound. They don't care about how much money you've got. They don't care about your branding, your product. They don't care about any of that. They only care about what's in it for them. So if you can create a offer or a solution to their problem, they will pay you money in exchange for that, basically. So guys, what you need to understand is that money itself is just the byproduct of value creation. If you can create value in the marketplace, actually solve somebody's problem or meet their needs, and exceed their needs, in fact, you will definitely get paid in proportion to how to how big the problem is. I believe that Elon Musk says that quote, you get paid based upon you get paid in direct proportion to how difficult the problem you solved was. Something on the lines of that, guys. But that's actually true. So guys, the reason why I believe my actual clothing line would have failed again is because I started something because I wanted to. You see, when I is in the equation, it normally fucks up, guys. It normally fucks up. You see, I didn't do any research. I just thought I want to make money online somehow, so I'm gonna start a clothing line. I did no research. I didn't listen to the market. I didn't even ask people what sort of clothing would you actually like. I just started creating designs on my computer, which was kind of fun, but it was just me just tire kicking, to be honest with you guys. I was just tire kicking for ages and ages. I wish I could have told myself this same knowledge that I'm giving you guys here, like way before, because I probably would have saved so much more time and been so much further ahead in my journey if I did so. So guys, at the start of your journey, I highly recommend you start a service-based business. Now, a service-based business is like an agency, or you're providing some sort of service, guys. And the reason why I say that is because most of the time the services that I'm talking about, such as, you know, Facebook ads for businesses, Instagram marketing for businesses, helping somebody build a funnel, normally those skills don't actually require you to create a product, do crazy amounts of market research, and spend crazy amounts of money doing so. It doesn't there's no production cost, there's no delivery cost or anything like that. Again, it's just selling air. If you can consult somebody on a laptop for an hour, you can literally make £50 to £100, even more than that. I know some of my mentors are making like £1,000 an hour. Some of my mentors say you can't even afford them. If you was to pay them 6K, they would turn it down. Like, you can't even afford to buy their time an hour anymore. Like, literally, there's endless potential. Guys, what I'm trying to say here is make sure you pick a skill that's in demand and is going to last a long time. That's the reason why I stopped dropshipping. Dropshipping, I mean, who the hell really... How is, you know, I personally want to be able to solve somebody's problem. Like, selling cat socks online is cool and all, but it's not really that great, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love the business model. It was still great getting those Shopify notifications come through on my phone. I completely loved it. But I just feel like consulting and SMMA and actually solving someone's problem is more like real solid entrepreneurship. I know that like e-commerce is a great market and stuff like that if you're actually solving a problem or giving a product over to somebody that they actually desire, but like just trying to throw up cat socks on a store or like cat necklaces on a store is just, I think it's a little bit sleazy, a little bit salesy, a little bit you know, you're just in it for the money, basically. But once you actually start picking a skill that's actually going to help somebody and provide a solution to their problem, I believe that that's true entrepreneurship, real one-on-one entrepreneurship right there. So guys, just to summarize that point, you want to be able to find a problem in a marketplace, listen to that problem, and then come up with a solution. Let me give you an example as to how I actually did it. So when I was first starting SMMA, I first of all studied like crazy the whole SMMA business model every single day, just back to back on YouTube, just watching crazy amounts of video, trying to understand the ins and outs of the industry. And I realized that lead sourcing, so actually going to Google, typing in stuff like, you know, restaurants in London or gyms in New York, it was just too time consuming to actually copy those businesses down, put them into an Excel sheet, then transfer those over to a Pipedrive CRM system so you can stay organized. That was like a full-time job on its own, guys. Like, no joke. I believe one of the figures, and I probably mentioned this on my channel before, that like me and one of my ex-business partners, we sat down and we timed each other how long it took us to actually get just 30 businesses. I mean, 30 businesses is not a lot of businesses. You should be reaching out to around 10, 20, 30 businesses a day, depending on sort of outreach you're doing, of course. But literally it took us over an hour long just to find 30 businesses that we could actually reach out to. And that wasn't even fully prospecting them. That was just, you know, going to Google and copying and pasting the details. So I figured out that this was a pain problem for me. So I needed to figure out if it was a pain problem for other people. And then I did figure out that it was a pain problem for other people by listening to the market feedback, being in Facebook groups, asking around, seeing what people were doing to generate their leads. And everybody was telling me the same problem. That's when I started looking for solutions to actually fix this problem. I signed up to so many software. The problem with those software was that they were super expensive, super overpriced for what they did. I mean, they did save you a lot of time, but some of them were crazy amounts of money, like $400 a month or something like that. I think that one's called Import.io or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But some of them were super expensive. I then thought to myself, okay, cool. Most of the time, people who are looking for these software are just starting out trying to generate leads for their business to actually then start their own SMMA. So how can I create a product for the lower end of the market who are just getting started and actually solve that problem for them? And that's when I came up with my lead sourcing alchemy stuff, which by the way is still open for enrollment. I just need to update the course a little bit, and there's going to be some updates coming very, very soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. But I created essentially a course. It actually didn't start as a course. It started as just one-on-one coaching. It started as me giving away free coaching just to see if it actually worked for other people. So I found out a system how to scrape like 1,000 leads, put them into an Excel sheet, have them all prospected within like 10-20 minutes or something like that. It saved you so much time. But I didn't really believe that I was worth, you know, £50 an hour to actually coach this to somebody. Like, I don't know what it was. Again, it's probably a mental thing that I didn't actually believe in myself. So what I did was I offered free coaching, and then people started telling me you should be definitely charging for this. That's when I took the kind of leap to think, you know what, I'm just going to try charging £50 an hour. Charge £50 an hour. Everybody I taught the lead sourcing alchemy stuff, again, that's just my fancy name of saying I'm going to show you how to scrape businesses, put them into an Excel sheet, prospect them properly, and then put them into a pipe drive, and then I'm going to show you all the other good stuff that comes with prospecting and whatnot. And that absolutely blew up. People loved it. And then I realized that I was just coaching the same thing over and over and over and over again, going through the exact same steps with each person. And I thought, how could I separate my time from this? I then thought to myself, okay, I can productize this by recording it once on a video and just selling the video to people. And that's how I was able to change my life first and foremost. So again, I learned a skill that was in demand, lead sourcing for SMMA. So I picked a niche, found the problems in that niche, and then provided a solution basically. So that would be one of the things you need to master. But guys, now that I'm becoming more of a mature entrepreneur, I've seen that there's two different sides of service-based businesses. There's done for you, which is obviously you do it for them, and there's done with you. Now, if you're doing done with you, you're probably going to need to learn the skills such as Facebook ads. If you're going to do a done with you service, like coaching businesses on how to run Facebook ads, you're definitely going to need to learn the Facebook ads yourself. But if you're doing a done for you service, you can just hire contractors, guys. Again, done for you means you are going to do it for them, which means you don't actually need to learn the skill yourself. You can actually go and hire a contractor, because they don't really care about who's doing the service. It's just them asking for a service to be done for them. They just care about the end result, which is probably, if you're offering Facebook ads to a local business, probably more leads, a more streamlined way of getting leads basically, or even more sales if you're doing an e-commerce business, of course. And there's done with you. Now, done with you is probably going to require you to learn the actual skill yourself. So I know there's a lot of talk around the internet right now, and I've mentioned it a couple times on the channel, where I say you don't need to learn Facebook ads in order to start an agency, which is true, because it's a done for you service, which means you can just go and hire a contractor to outsource it and have them do the service. You just need to know the service enough to sell the service, which is going to lead me on to my next point in a second. But again, there's two different sides of it. And if it's a done with you, you're probably going to need to learn the skill yourself. If it's a done for you, you probably can just outsource it straight away. So that would save you a lot of time as well, because I know a lot of you guys are just completely stuck when it comes to starting an SMMA. You think you need to learn the whole of Facebook ads to go and close a client. That's not the actual case, guys. So that leads me on to the next skill you guys need to master in order to see any success, and that is sales and marketing. Now these are two separate points, but they're very, very similar. They're kind of like sisters almost. Marketing is anything you do up until a sale, and a sale is what you do once you've got the person in the actual door or on the actual phone in order to close the sale and handle the transaction from their bank account to your bank account. So again, marketing is anything you do in order to gain attention, gain recognition, spark interest, to get somebody to come to you, or even you go out to them. And sales is actually you're on the phone with them or in person, and you're talking with them now one-on-one directly, and they are about to make a transaction. That's sales. So guys, these two skills again are very closely linked, but they're actually different. Marketing is anything you do, so such as like posting out content, creating a personal brand around your name. Branding itself is marketing. Even just the way you present yourself, the clothes you wear. I probably wear not the best clothes, but just everything you do is the way you have your hair is branding, because it's the way people perceive you basically. And marketing is all the way about creating that perceived value, sparking interest, getting people through the door, and then sales is all about closing. Now, the number one, if I have to say anything you could possibly learn, any skill, would obviously be sales, guys. Nothing in business moves without you closing a sale. I don't care how good you are at Facebook ads. I don't care how great your social media management services are. I don't care what fancy websites you can design. I don't care if you've created Apple's website. If you can't sell your service, you're going to remain broke. You will definitely need to learn sales if you're offering a service-based business, which is what I highly recommend you start at the you actually start if for your first business. I personally don't believe you should start a business that's going to require you to invest a crazy amounts of capital. I mean, people do start successful businesses like that, but they're not normally profitable until like 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, such as clothing lines. I think the average clothing line takes around 5 years to actually turn a profit. I think it's 3 to 4 years or something, 3 to 5 years to actually turn a profit, which is just crazy. Why would you do that when you can start offering a service? For example, you can go and learn how to build funnels and offer funnel building services to other clients, and then you can actually outsource that, because that's a done for you service. Or if you're offering a done with you service, such as you're teaching somebody Facebook ads, you obviously are going to need to learn Facebook ads and then teach them to a particular niche, for example. So again, sales is the skill above all skills basically. Sales is like the top skill. Marketing is the next, because marketing will help you with your sales, but sales is the ultimate skill you need to master in order to see any success in any business. And I'm pretty sure you guys already know that. So the best ways to learn sales is, first and foremost, actual live practice. So actually go out there and start selling shit, because what most entrepreneurs do at the start is they try to learn all these crazy skills like Facebook ads and whatnot. And what they should be doing is focusing on two things. Like, I have people tell me all the time, should I register my business at the start? Should I create a fancy website? Should I have business cards? Should I upgrade my desk? Should I do this thing and that thing? The thing is, and it's on my door right there, is the only 4 things. Hopefully you can see that. I'll probably show you in a second, but the only things that matter in the only 4 things that matter in life are a couple on there. There's 2 other things on there, but it's like solid foundations. It says creating your mindset basically, setting discovery calls and closing discovery calls. Those are the only 2 things you actually should be focusing on: setting sales calls, closing sales calls, or getting sales calls and closing sales calls basically, which is basically marketing and sales. Getting a sales call, someone to come to you, is marketing. You post that content, people come to you, come down one of your funnels, that's marketing. Closing sales is sales, closing sales. And again, the best way to learn sales is, first of all, first-hand practice. The second best way, which is going to sound a little bit woo-woo, is to actually mentally rehearse sales and physically practice sales in like a mirror or something like that. And the reason for that is because there's only a certain amount of hours in a day to actually cram in actual live sales calls. But in your head, you can go through thousands and thousands and thousands of sales calls without actually having to do them, and you will still improve in sales. Now, there's actually a study done out in America. Forgot who the study was by, but they took a basketball team, separated them into 3 groups. There was one group that actually physically practiced shooting free throws. So they did like I can't remember how many it was a day. They practiced for an hour a day of actual physical free throws. So they would actually put on their kit, put on their shorts, put on their shirt, boot up, go to the free throw line, sorry, and physically shoot the ball into the net and practice that way for an hour. Group B, or group 2 if you want to call it, was they didn't do any physical practice, but they did mental practice. So they would sit there with their eyes closed and just imagine themselves walking up to the line, the ref passing them the ball on the free throw line, them taking their setup dribbles, spinning the ball like you do, locking in the elbow and actually shooting the ball. But they were doing that mentally, so they were just imagining that, they were visualizing that. And then group C, or group 3 if you want to call them, they did no physical practice or mental practice, and there was only a 1% difference in improvement. Of course, the guys what physically practiced improved the most. They improved like 24%, but the guys that actually just mentally practice improved 23%. So there's a 1% difference, which is just mind-boggling, which means you can actually practice any time of the day without actually physically getting tired. So I know that talking a lot can get you physically tired, or having to go through and actually set crazy amounts of calls can be time consuming. It can be difficult to do and get your first couple of calls in and stuff like that. But again, you can still be in bed practicing thousands of times before you even get on a call, and you'll still be able to answer questions because you've already practiced it 1,000 times. In your head, you already know the answers to questions that they're gonna ask you. So it just comes out super quickly, super cleanly, and stuff like that. Another way to learn sales is to read books, and this all applies for marketing as well. You can read books on marketing, read books on sales. Some of the best books I recommend is, one of my favorite all-time books is Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. That is a really, really powerful book if you guys want to learn sales. But guys, those are the top 3 skills I believe you need to master in order to create any success in any business. Doesn't matter what the business is. If you can understand somebody's pain problems, relate it back to them so well that they actually believe you have the solution to their problem, you will be successful, because they're automatically going to associate you with having some sort of solution. The second skill is obviously marketing. I believe if you can learn marketing and actually spark interest and gain attention. Again, I didn't mention this, but attention is income, guys. So create a personal brand is one of the best ways to do that. And number 3 is obviously sales, and sales is probably, I should say, is number 1, because sales is above everything else. Don't even focus on about how to run Facebook ads, because there's people out there that can run Facebook ads for you. You just sell the service and give it to an outsourcer. I beg you do that, because that's going to save you so much more time. So guys, with that being said, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. It's been a long time since I just sat down and just just gave you guys some knowledge off the top of my head without scripting, without anything. But guys, again, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed. Hope that you've seen some value in this. If you have, please drop me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.